know we're going to have a Russian, and an American in the finals. This should be a very, very tough fight. Nick Nutter versus Joe Charles.
Two Americans. They were sitting next to each other on the plane.
Yeah, both really nice guys, really friendly guys, really getting along well. It's tough to be so friendly, getting to know your friend, and then a couple hours later, putting it all on the line for them. But these guys are great athletes. They've got big hearts. They understand what they're here to do, and this should be a great fight.
Again, both fighters arriving here within the last 3 hours, and they show no signs of that brutal flight. Nutter showing no signs of the illness that struck him earlier today, where he actually threw up quite a few times. I think we're going to see a dandy right now.
Yeah, Joe Charles is going to want to stay on his feet. Nick Nutter's going to want to put him right on his butt. That's the game plan here. Joe Charles knows Nick Nutter. He knows he's a wrestler. He knows he wants him on his back, and he's going to hammer him. Joe Charles does not want to be in the position that he was in his last fight. This guy is a much tougher, much more disciplined fighter than Joe Charles' first opponent. Nick Nutter, on the other hand, knows he's got to watch out for that big right hook of Joe Charles. He's a very devastating puncher, and he's got a lot of ground skills as well. He can finish.
Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. Charles getting some last-minute instruction.
Joe
Talking
Charles
to the officials. Dane Frazier now working his corner. There's that familiar splits we always see Charles do prior to every one of his fights as he stretches out. Again, 39 years young. The guy's an amazing athlete.
Yeah, he really is. He's really experienced in there. As experienced as anybody, I expect, oh man, the adrenaline is flowing in the stadium tonight.
No signs of jet lag with you, Greg. Oh, nice right hand by Joe Charles to get things going. Nutter tries for the double leg takedown. Down both men go. Nutter finally gets him down. He's on top. American versus American. Nutter throwing rights and lefts against Charles, and he's unloading on to Charles. Right now, some of those are getting in, folks.
Joe, a big, strong guy, though, taking him. What a champ. Nutter with a great attempted takedown. Joe stayed with it and really threw him, but Nick Nutter, the quicker, the more agile, the younger, better, well-trained right now, rolls him right over and in the dominant mounted position where he wants to be. Punishing the right side of the body of Joe Charles. Again, Joe, a big, thick guy, does not mind the punishment, taking everything so far. He'll try to slip that arm down. Now those are starting to take their effect. Joe looking to cover up the ribs.
Again, the goal of Nick Nutter now, hit the ribs, bring the arm down, then go to the head. There's a headbutt.
Nice headbutt right on the chin.
Very nice.
Joe Charles really taking some shots here early on.
Joe had a pretty tough first round match that he won with a great ankle lock. Nutter also impressive in his first round.
You'll see Joe Charles trying to get those legs up and around. He wants to push Nick Nutter off and back. Try and get those legs around the neck. Look for a triangle choke or an arm bar. Nick Nutter, strong, staying tight. We call it crunching. Joe will try and pull him, push and pull. Push with the arms, pull with the legs. Nick Nutter staying tight. He wants to stay right on the chest of Joe Charles when he does that. He doesn't want to leave his neck or leave an arm behind.
Nutter continues to work that left hand into the rib cage of Joe Charles, but kind of tapping blows that are more aggravating than anything. I mean, you're not even seeing a wince on the face of Joe Charles.
Yeah, Joe's, as we said, a big, tough guy. He's been there before. He doesn't like being in this position. You'll see now he's going to try and roll around, look for a leg lock.
Sure
Joe
is.
with a nice move, rolling him around. Now he wants to stick with that one leg. He's got the ankle. He's got the ankle. Joe's got to stay with that, though.
Got to lock it in, Joe. Nutter now showing some wrestling skills here as he tries to create some leverage. Nice move by
Joe wrapping that leg. Joe Charles going for the ankle lock. Nick Nutter in a little bit of trouble here for the first time in the fight, a little bit defensive.
Nutter pounding at the midsection with the left hand of Joe Charles. Charles not letting go, though. Charles continuing to hold it, trying to lock in, using the fence to pull himself closer to it as he tries to lock in that ankle lock.
He's got to stay with that. This is Joe's big opportunity in the fight. Nick Nutter made a mistake. Joe's got the ankle. This is new ground for Nick Nutter. He's not used to these ankle locks.
Nutter's sitting there, and he's going to try again. He's saying, wait a minute, I'm the guy that's supposed to administer the ankle lock. It didn't happen. The veteran Joe Charles coming up with a dandy move. How long? He just can't quite get it locked in, though, the way he needs.
He's not in a great position to do it. That's his problem. He needs to kick his leg around the other side of Nick Nutter and kick his shoulders back.
Exactly.
He needs to straighten out that knee.
Well, those blows to the midsection by Nutter against Charles are starting to wear.
Nutter in a very dangerous position here to hurt a knee or any part of his leg for that matter. His ankle and his knee are very subject to big trouble right now. He's got it crossed underneath. Oh, Joe lets go. I don't know if that was what he wanted to do.
I don't think so. Not be in that position. Nutter again back on top.
Joe took a chance, looking for another opportunity, figuring he ran out of game plan right there. Nutter now back in the dominant position. Joe will try and roll back around and slither out of it.
Great action early on in this semifinal here. AFC 3 here in Tel Aviv, Israel. Nick Nutter on top, the American against fellow American Joe Charles. Kind of in the half guard. Oh, great right hand.
Right to the middle of the face. I think that was just split the nose right there.
Joe Charles taps.
It just takes one of those from a 260 or 250-pound guy square on the face to make you rethink about what you're doing. Joe, as we've seen, take big shots, does not give up. Look, his face actually looks beautiful. He took one right in the eye. It might have even been a little finger or something in the eye. We'll try and get a look at it on the rewind, but it was right in the eye. We'll look at it right here. He reaches up.
Good shot. I think it's a right hand, and it just hits flush. He waits his time and boom! Right on the eye.
Yeah, beautiful shot.
That's why that eye started to swell up on him.
Directly in the eye. He's going to have a nice shiner. That was a beautiful shot right with the knuckles, right in the middle of the eye, not on the bone part, because Joe will take those all day long. That actually went into the eye. That's dangerous.
Yeah, that is. That wasn't an eye gouge, folks. That was a clean right hand from Nick Nutter from the United States, and Nick has earned his way into the final.
Nick expected to be here in the final, told us he was going to be here, but then again, they all do. He was really expected to go this far. A very strong showing for Nick Nutter.
All right, we've just been handed a note. Vasily Kudin was injured, Greg. So an alternate